Hello and welcome to the Beginner's Guide to Modpacks and Minecraft. I'm Enigmius, and today, talking a little bit about how to get started. You've got this mod pack, you've thought about messing around with this particular mod pack. There's all kinds of them out there, different people making them, different people tossing them around, different stuff in them. But it always seems like so much. You're familiar with the vanilla Minecraft, but the machines in this pack's got like 80 mods in it, and I don't even know where to get started. That's what this video is about. It's not specifics on any one mod or mod pack. It's general concepts to help you make that transition between vanilla and the mod pack scene. It's really not that bad as long as you've got a bit of a sense of direction. So if you do find yourself with questions, you at least have an idea of what questions you want to be asking. Now, I've basically broken this concept discussion up into 3 basic concepts. First is access to resources. After that, we're going to talk a little bit about machines and the machines that power them. And then finally, we're going to talk about where do I go from there? Because really, what we're talking about is making that transition from a game that's centered around gathering resources and building things to a game that's centered around gathering resources and building things that take the focus away from the resource gathering and into other things. That's basically it. And with that in mind, the first thing that I want to point out, which may seem like common sense, but you might be surprised, is that mod packs, when applied to vanilla Minecraft, make it so that it's not vanilla Minecraft anymore. Now, obviously, certain things are going to carry over. This whole area that I'm in looks very much like vanilla Minecraft, with the exception of the robot claw in the bottom right-hand corner. But there are certain things that don't carry over, and one of those, for example, is the big example that you see a lot in discussion forums, is the scarcity, the rarity of certain materials. Big one, diamonds. Vanilla Minecraft, kind of a pain to get the diamonds. You can get them, it's not necessarily hard, but usually you consume them as fast as you get them because you're using them in things like tools and armor that eventually, despite enchants and other things that keep them around for a little bit longer, wear out, and then you have to get more, and then that's basically where all your diamonds go. You get to a point where, with the mod packs, you don't have that crushing need for diamonds all the time. There are ways to automate resource gathering so that you're off doing whatever it is you want to be doing, and in the meantime, you're still producing ores and things of that nature. It changes the way we look at the resource game. It's still there if you still like to do the ravines and the spelunking in caves and exploring abandoned mine shafts, then absolutely you can do that. There's no reason why you can't. But the resource game changes, and we're going to talk a little bit about exactly how that changes now. I wasn't expecting that. This area here I cleared out. Normally I have this planted full of trees, and that's sort of a key point, is when you've got all of these different machines that you can build and all these different systems that you're trying to put together, the last thing you want is to realize you're like 2 ingots short of being able to finish this thing that you've been working at for the last hour, and you've got to go on a 2-hour adventure to get it. Or you need a particular kind of organic material from a tree, a leaf, an apple, who knows, and you've cleared it all out. You haven't bothered to think about what you're doing close to home, so the resource gathering starts taking more time than you really want it to. If you're okay with it taking a while, that's fine too. There's no reason why you can't handle the resources the way you want to. I'm just saying, for those times when you're focused on the machines and everything comes to a halt because you're missing certain resources, a little bit of pre-planning means that you'll have access to the resources you need when you need them. And one of them is those saplings you get make pretty good trees. Just keep that in mind. With regards to ore, one of the things that I do whenever I start a new game, as soon as I've got the materials that I need to start making stone picks, I'm on my way down to bedrock. And it's not that I need diamonds in the early game so bad, it's just I want to have that mine shaft all the way down to bedrock so that it's there whenever I want to go down and do some mining. One of the things that you'll find, especially with the larger mod packs, is that as these different mods start adding their own ores, they tend to put them in different layers. You can't always just go down to layer 12 and find everything you need. Sometimes you need to be at layer 30, 40, 25, whatever. So if you've got a mine shaft where you can pick and choose and basically go in any direction you want, it basically means infinite access to resources without having to always find a new cave or find a new ravine or all those things. So the question is, in the early game, how do I give myself access to those ores so I can start pulling in ores, making machines, checking out all these crazy mod packs? There's two options, really. You can see I left that hole there. This is not a good option. This is not option 1. This is option 0. This is the just keep digging directly under my feet until I take a lava bath or hit a diamond. But this illustrates what I was kind of thinking about previously, and that is the 2x1 or 3x1 vertical mine shaft. Now you'll notice I'm not placing ladders because I've already chopped down enough of my trees. You would want ladders on this kind of a mine shaft, otherwise you will not get out. And the whole idea here is you're digging one block, and if there's lava under that block, then you know I need to change direction, I need to figure something else out, or I need to just go all the way up and start in a completely different location, which is a far superior alternative to taking a lava bath. Now that I'm down here, you can see if I wanted to do the 3 wide, then I can do this one here, this one here. If everything's clear, I do the one under my feet, and then I just keep going that way. Safe, quick, easy. The downside is the cost in terms of the ladders that you will need in order to make this thing work. You also want to keep this properly lit all the way down so that if you decide you want to branch off at whatever layer, you can do that without having to worry about a creeper following you off the ladder, if you catch my meaning. Now, because I'm not playing a new game, I've got ways to get out of here that don't involve ladders. We can take a look at my preferred method of getting a mine shaft down to bedrock in the early game. That's we do 3 like that, 2, 1, if I could remember how to push buttons on a keyboard. So it's just a simple staircase, right? 3 blocks, and then you turn. You the ones in front of you and 1 down, and then you turn. And then you do 3 steps down again. You can get rid of that if you want. And because this is the internet's, we're going to throw a light here so you can see there's nothing crazy going on here. We're just basically doing 3 steps down, turn right, 3 steps down, turn right, like this. It's not complicated. You're going to use up a little bit more in terms of tool durability because you're digging more blocks, but you don't need to make ladders. You can put torches on the walls on the way down so that it stays well lit. Again, this is a great place for monsters to hide if you don't keep it lit. And the nice thing about it is it's safe. So if, again, just like the other example, if you're coming down here and you realize suddenly that there's lava under that block that you just dug up, you can change direction, you can, move up a little bit, branch off, and then start down again, whatever you want to do, very, very easily. And then once it's done, all the way down to bedrock, you can branch off and do whatever layer you want. You want to go looking for diamonds, you can do that very easily. You want to go looking for other materials that are on different levels, you can do that as well. So the idea is that if you feel like going spelunking, or crawling around in ravines or doing what you want to do, then that's what you do. You go and you do that and you enjoy. And then if you just want some materials to make that machine that you just heard about, then you've got fairly quick access to the resources to do that as well. So that's a thing. That's giving yourself the easy access to resources, bringing back planting farms, doing what you need to do to have those resources outside. And then if you want to go exploring, you're doing it by choice, not because you have to. So that's giving yourself the option to do things by choice, not because you have to. Now you can see down here, I've done the same thing, only here's a tip. It's inside my little shack. You can see these are the cobblestone furnaces that I made. There's a crafting table, a couple of chests, all vanilla stuff in here. And then if I feel like going mining, I don't have to go outside at night. I can just go straight down here. And I've got my mine shaft. You can see I branched off. Usually just, planning this or that video, I'll come down and I'll just start digging until I'm done planning or I'm sick of digging or my inventory is full of cobblestone. And I can go all the way down and down and down and down some more. And then we get a little bit farther down. And we keep turning and going down. That's the theme. Turn and go down. And eventually, we end up at bedrock. Now this is, you can see, this is where I've done the majority of my mining, because I've been doing a lot of stuff with computer craft, which requires basically redstone, and that's it. So, oh, and gold, which is handy to get down here. I'm stockpiling a little bit of gold. So in my case, it's good to have this down here at bedrock, because the things that I need are right down here. When I shift my attention to other projects, and I need things like copper and tin, which are added by thermal expansion, one of the mods that I'm using, then I can go target those on the different levels. Another portal. One of the things I wanted to point out, talking about doing the mine shaft thing or doing the ravines, is we head up here. Now I've got access to resources, theoretically, right? You've got a mine shaft, you've got trees, you've got gardens, whatever you need. Bringing it closer to home, so if you don't want to go out exploring, you just want the resources, you've got access to them readily and easily. Now we start looking at the machines, sort of the core of the tech-based mod packs. I don't want to make it sound like this is all there is. I just want to make sure that we're not getting too crazy carried away with listing all these stupid things that may or may not apply to the mod pack you're looking at. The one thing that almost all tech-based mod packs have in common is they will give you machines that will allow you to process materials into other things. So in this example, and this is a very, very common example, we've got the ore doubler, which in this case is a pulverizer, which takes your standard ores, whatever, iron ore, whatever you want to put into it, and it grinds it into 2 dust. And then each dust goes into a furnace or furnace-like device and becomes 1 ingot. So instead of 1 ore, 1 ingot, you get 1 ore, 2 ingots. And this allows to balance for the increased demand for all these different ores caused by all these different crazy wonderful machines that you're going to want to make. Then you've got things like powered furnace, and this is a fantastic example because we know what a furnace is. A cobblestone furnace, you put fuel in and it turns things, it melts them or cooks them or whatever you need it to do. In this particular example, that's exactly what this does, only instead of using fuel that you have to feed it, it uses energy that you can pipe into it, which allows a level of automation, right? A little bit less micromanaging in the sense of feeding machines and more just plunking things in and they go, which is kind of cool. Most mod packs that I've played offer exactly this sort of thing in the early game, a way to grind up your ores so that you get more ingots out of the ores and a replacement for the cobblestone furnace that eliminates the need to find and feed it fuel. All these other machines you see here are specific to the mod that they come from. This is all from thermal expansion, for those of you who are curious by nature. These machines here, we're not really going to talk about their purpose because the mod pack that you may be interested in may not have them. So we're just going to talk about this for now. Now we've got the machines, but how do we power them? We're talking about not having to feed them coal or wood or fuel of any kind. Well, the mod that provides the machines also provides the means of powering them. In this case, this is a steam engine. And just for example, I just wanted to give you an idea. When you first start out, quite often what you'll find is you'll have like these machines here, and then directly adjacent to them, you'll have the machines that provide them with power. So it's not uncommon at all to have a motor directly adjacent to a machine running it. And in this case, if I was just starting out, I would need 1 motor for each machine so that they can each be powered. Really, really simple stuff. And I think this is one of the areas where people start to get maybe a little bit intimidated because we're talking about machines and power and Minecraft joules and EU and engines and need fuel and exploding and stuff. What do I do? It's not that bad. You don't need a physics degree or an engineering background in order to make this stuff work. You've got the machine, they go together, they do things that are interesting and fun that allow you to do other things that are interesting and fun. Eventually, you will say to yourself, feeding this is not much different from feeding a cobblestone furnace. Really, all I'm doing is adding an extra block that I have to feed materials into whenever I want this guy to run. And that's when you're going to start saying it would be nice if I could just feed a pile of materials, a pile of fuel into one of these guys and then store the energy it produces so that it can go out to those guys when they need it. And that's what I've set up here. Most mods that have machines and machines that generate power will also offer some kind of means of storing that power as an intermediary between the generators and the consumers, right? So this here you can see it's a little under half because I don't use these machines that often. I'm not involved in projects right now that involve a ton of resources. So I don't run these machines that often that I need to keep it full. It's not a thing. I just kind of throw a couple of buckets of lava into these engines. These ones are the ones that actually consume lava in order to make energy. And then I've got some tanks full of lava that I just stuck to the wall because I couldn't be bothered to put them in a chest. That's how I do things lately. Because, like I say, I'm doing other things. And I'll come back to this some other time. So those are the machines. There's one other thing, and I should have mentioned this at the beginning to round out the whole thing. Most mods also will provide a means of moving materials from one place to another. Now, obviously, Vanilla Minecraft has the Ender chest. You put things in an Ender chest here, and someone can pull them out of the Ender chest over there. Pretty handy, pretty convenient. But you take that to the next level and allow you to put materials into machines and extract materials from machines and put them into chests and do all kinds of crazy stuff. That'll also usually be a part of the tech-based mod packs. I would recommend first, however, that you get a good start with access to resources, get your basic processing machines up and running with a way to keep them running, and then you can start looking into the ways of automating things, moving things around from various different machines and chests and things of that nature, because you can spend quite a substantial amount of time enjoying the process of learning how to move things around like that. But it depends largely on the mod that is providing the service of moving these things around for you in terms of how they work. And that's, again, where you can say, I've got these machines and now I want to start looking at how to get materials from this machine to this chest or from this chest to this machine. How might I go about doing that? Then people have an idea where they can start giving you suggestions based on the mod pack that you're talking about. So really, like I said, I didn't want this to go on and on and on, making it complicated where it's not. It's really, really not. So access to resources, basic processing machines, and then you want to start looking at storage for energy, automated transport for items, and then you can start branching out and exploring all the crazy different things that the mod pack offers that isn't necessarily specifically related to what we've been talking about today. So I hope this has been helpful. The more simple the topic, sometimes the harder it is to produce the video. So leave your comments and feedback below. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.